Setting up the Advanced Cloud Security app in Business Central. Hey, I'm Eric, and in this video we're going to set up the Advanced Cloud Security app for Business Central. What is ACS? Well, ACS is an app that enables you to do field level security and to do data level security. Let me show you how it works. Here is my Business Central, and I have done one thing. Before I start the video, I have changed my, let's do the right thing, Alt-T. I have changed my role into admin of users, user groups, and permission sets. In that case, we get the Advanced Cloud Security menu up here. And the very first thing we're going to do is that we're going to go into Setup. You might be asked to register the app. When you click this, then go through that process, get a registration code, put that in, and you're set to go on the trial. What the system is doing right now is that it's actually analyzing your system and what pages you have in your system, what other extensions you have in your system. So ACS can control security of almost everything, including stuff from Microsoft, stuff from other apps, and custom code. There's a slight asterisk next to that one, that there are apps that do not play nicely with other apps, and you might have issues, but we'll figure that out. So now that we have a setup, we'll actually forget about this one again. So we just need to go into Setup and have it do a small analysis of your system. What we can do now is that we can actually focus on security, which is why we're here. And security we define in something called a security feature. So a security feature is a bundle of joy. Well, it's a bundle of security. It's a bundle of different permissions that kind of goes together. And we start by giving it a name. So I define one called customer here, and there are different areas in the bundle. The first area is fields. So in this case, I can select the customer table, and I will select the field. In this case, I'll select the name field. And now I can give it a security setting. I can show it. We'll get back to that in one of the advanced videos. I can hide it, means that users cannot see it. I can disable it, means that it's grayed out and you can partially see it. Or I can set it to read only, means that it's shown with a gray background and users cannot edit it, but it looks like an normal field and you can select data in it and so on. We can do one more, just since we're here anyway. Let's do address. And we can do disable just to show you the difference. So those are fields. So anywhere in the system where the customer name and the customer address is shown, they will be read-only and disabled. But when we have a screen like this, there might be other things on the screen that are not necessarily fields. We call that page control. A page control is a very computerish term for a piece of UI on the screen. And if we do the same thing, let's select. So now we're not selecting a table. Now we're selecting a page. So I'll select the customer card, and I will get a list of controls. And you can see here that controls, some of them are fields. Currency code. Well, that's field number 22 on table 18. Table 18 is the customer table. But let's sort this guy, and you can see that the balance due field has field number 0, meaning that is not a field. That is just something on the screen. So this is probably a calculated, there's something behind the scene that actually calculates the value in this one. So we cannot control it as a field, but we can control it as a control. So I'll select that one and say that that should be hidden. So the third section is called action access, and an action is a menu item. But the Business Central lingo is that what we have up here is the action bar, and a action bar has actions. So if we go with the customer again, we can say that, hey, let's find an action. You see, all action has a name and a caption. So caption is what is actually shown, and the name is the computer name it has behind the scene. And some of them are weird in the name column, and some of them make sense. So let's do someone that's weird. So you can see statistics. Well, it's clearly this is the statistics action bar, but it's called action 76. And we have the option with actions to disable that one. So the last section down here is called data access filters. So the first three was kind of what's on the screen from a UI perspective. The last one is what records are available. So we have the ability to apply a security filter. And let's continue with the customer here. And we could select customer posting group and say that normally I would say, okay, I only have access to domestic or an EU. I create a normal filter. If you have like a group of people and some people has access to like a group of salespeople and they have access to different demographics or different subsets of your customers, what you can do instead, and I feel like this, is that you can hit the three dots and then we will use what is known as a user filter. And a user filter is a shortcut. So I also need to do a check saying, hey, there's actually user filter. So the $UF31 means that go look somewhere else for a filter that applies to whoever is getting the security. So instead of having to set up, in this case we were in security filters, instead of having to set up multiple security features for the different salespeople, you're going to set up one and say, hey, then we somewhere else we define the individual filters. But since we now set a filter on the customer posting group field, in order for this to be proper, we actually need to go and find, and I know the number, the customer posting group table. And in that one, we want to do the same filter, but in this case, we're now setting the filter on the code field because that's the primary key of the customer posting group table. And we'll do the exact same filter here and check that as a user filter also. So now we have a security feature. We can see that we got some messages up here saying that, hey, be aware that this is not actually covered by anything. What you have created is not covered by anything, so you better regenerate. So let's do that. So we'll go back and remember we weren't set up, and we just kind of made sure that we had a setup and it did the analysis of your system. So what we are actually doing in setup is that we're generating another extension. So you have the first extension we download from AppSource, and that's the one where you define the security. That's the admin app of it. But that's actually not the app that is doing the security. That is done by app number 2. And app number 2 we generate from app number 8 on the fly. Did I say app number 8? That was very Danish. App number 1. Sorry. Weird. And we have two ways of creating the second app. We can say, and that's the default that's selected here, that we only want to create security for fields used on affected pages, meaning that if the custom name field is on a page, then we will apply security to that field on that page. If we have another page or another field on the same, so the name 2 or customer discount or something else, those are not being prepared to handle security. We can also say all fields on affected page, meaning that as soon as at least one field has been tagged for security like on the custom card, then the system will prepare all the fields for security. So it really comes down to how you're handling this, and are you adding fields? Oh, that field needs to be removed also, or needs to be handled also, without having to regenerate. The arch enemy of security is personalization, meaning that what good is it that we can remove a field from a screen if the user can put it back with personalization? So anything that is under control by ACS is off limit to personalization. So if you want your users, if you want to control security on 4 fields, but you want your users to be able to control the rest of the fields on the screen with personalization, then you need to do the only fields. It really depends on the data model. Sometimes you can end up in having a lot of fields behind the scenes that kind of is the same as the one you're trying to hide. So you want to avoid getting users the ability to kind of dig up the information that you're trying to remove from them. Anyway, I will do the second here. So I hit create extension, and now you can see on the names that these are related to customers. So now it goes through all the tables, all the pages that the customer table is used on, and figure out if any of the fields that we have defined are on those pages. If that's the case, then we will create an extension of those pages, and those are all compiled into a new extension that will get installed. Now, we're also getting a copy of it downloaded, so we have the option of, generating the security on the sandbox, grabbing the download that we just got and uploading that to production and use it there. We can check deployment status and see, is it deployed or not? So we can see that this is in progress right now. There's a couple of old tries I did before I started this video. But while that is working, let's go remember the filter stuff. And actually, I'll go related, I'll go user filters. You can see here is a list of nobody, but I will add myself to this list. Let me see if I'm allowed to add this. Come on, let's do that again. We got Eric here. So I'll find the customer posting group field. And then I will tell that, hey, domestic, I can only see domestic customers. If we had another user, I can say that that other user would have EU or whatever settings we have in here, thereby not having us to create multiple security features. But at this point, so if I go now, no, actually, let's do one more thing, and let's check the deployment status again. Now it's complete, so the secondary extension is installed and security is online. But we have not assigned the security feature we created, called customer. We have not assigned to anyone. And the way we do that is, well, we have 3 ways of getting a security feature to a user. The first is to assign it directly to the user. The second is to assign it to a group that the user is a member of. The third one is to piggyback off a permission set that the user already has. So if you give a user a permission set and that permission set has a security feature piggyback, then you'll get the security feature. We'll do it simple here. But before I do that, let's actually just go to customers and verify what we have. So we can see we have a bunch of customers. It looks good. We can open a customer here and we'll get the teaching tips away. I can clearly edit the name and the address and custom posting groups. There are 3 of them, and this is a foreign. So clearly at this point, I'm not under the influence of security. Let's change that. I'll go back here and say user setup. I'll find myself, edit list, and I will assign the customer. Wow, why is it doing that to me? The customer security group to me. So now I have that one applied. So actually what we can do before that, we can use a show effective security function here and select myself. And we can see that this is what has been applied to me. So name is read-only, address is disabled, balance due is hidden, action 76 is disabled, and there's 2 filters applied to the custom posting group customer table with the custom posting group field and the custom posting group table itself. Excellent. So let's jump quickly to the customer table to see how. Well, the first thing we see right away is that I only see a fraction of the customers I saw before. So the filter is applied here. If I go on to a customer, I can see that now I cannot edit the name field. The balance due field is gone and the address field is grayed out. If I go down, I can see that this is a domestic customer. I do the lookup here and I only see that's the only option I can do, to select from full list, and again I will only see one. So that's the effect of ACS. Check the other videos if you want to go into the more advanced details, advanced features of this. Let us know if there's anything we can do to help make your Business Central more secure. Thanks for watching.